Hi, I'm Shawna.
And I'm Liz.
Welcome to Getting Bookish, a weekly podcast where we will talk about different book-related topics, let you know what we're reading, and even answer Q&As from you.
Be sure to visit our website, gettingbookish.com, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Bookish. If you enjoy our podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave us a rating and review, which helps us to be seen by other book lovers.
With all that said, we hope you'll enjoy Getting Bookish with us.
Enjoy the podcast.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another podcast with Liz and I, and we have a special guest today. We are so excited to be chatting with my friend Kim Patton. She is an author, and so of course we're going to be talking to her about her book and how she got published and all those great things. But first, let's hear a little bit about you, Kim. What do you like reading? What are you reading now? What genre do you like? Let us know.
All right. Well, what I'm reading now, Liz, you will like this. I'm reading Susan Orlean, Rin Tin Tin. It is about the screen dog, German Shepherd. And I knew nothing about it, absolutely nothing. But I really like memoir. I really like nonfiction. I'm one of those people who read like 5 nonfiction to 1 fiction.
I love it.
Kind of naughty in that way. I'm also reading Ian Morgan Cron, The Road Back to You, about the Enneagram. I've been procrastinating this for a while because it's super emotional and challenging. Learning about your number is a little scary, but this is the best book, I think, on it. I've heard him on his podcast and read his other books. And then I'm reading Priscilla Shirer, Fervent, about women praying, and she's really intense, and I've never read her before. Not my favorite, per se, but I'm learning a lot, and I'm doing it with my mentor, and so we're going through it together. And then I'm also on audiobook with Anna LeBaron for The Polygamist Daughter, and that's a memoir. And it's helping me learn how to write in a very present way. Mm-hmm. You write in the past, but you write as if you're feeling it. So I love memoir. I'm obsessed with memoir. I've read a lot of memoir in the last few years just to learn the genre, and I can't seem to get away from it. I'm just always finding more. And I'm obsessed with Ann Patchett and adventure nonfiction. Into Thin Air is about climbing Mount Everest, so it's very adventurous.
I got
Ultra
that
Marathon
book. I just haven't read it yet.
Did you?
Into Thin Air. Yeah, I'm really excited to read that.
Well, it's like Susan Orlean. It's very informational. Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. That's one of my favorites too. And he's walking the Appalachian Trail. And Wild, of course.
Yeah.
I love that one. So any sort of adventure where people are doing ridiculous things, I'm like, yes, I don't want to go skydiving, but I will read about it if you go.
You'll live vicariously through others.
Oh, yeah. And then my favorite fiction is The Book Thief. So
I haven't read that yet, but I want to. Really bad.
I mean, you're the war girl. Come on. That's a war book.
I know.
Yeah.
It's on my
beautiful.
Shelf. I can't wait.
It's so beautiful.
All right. I feel like we could guess, based on the kinds of books you love to read and your obsession with memoirs. But tell us a little bit about your book that you wrote.
Yes, absolutely. So it's a memoir. It's about my family growing up with 6 brothers. So it's called A Cub Among Bears, How Love and Toughness Raised Me. And love is my parents, the toughness is my brothers. So love and toughness is that just kind of the balance of having amazing parents, just a really wonderful childhood. I was really lucky. But I grew up with 6 brothers, and they were kind of bullies, and they showed love in strange, violent ways, like wrestling. And I had just had so much to tell. I had so much on my heart, and I couldn't not write it. It was just bursting within me. And I grew up in a very loving, rambunctious home with great parents and great church. And everyone was always shocked when they heard I had 6 brothers and no sisters.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, where are you in the lineup of children?
Second to last.
Oh, okay. So you have one baby brother below you.
Mm-hmm.
Was he still in the group of bullies and showed his love in boyish ways?
That's a great question. I would say, so we kind of paired off. So Sean is the oldest by several years. So he kind of was in like late high school, college, while the rest of us were still in elementary and middle and high school, elementary and middle, really. So he was a bit older. So then we have Dave and Dan. So they were the first 2 pairings, the oldest. And then we had Joe and Phil were the middle. And then Jeff and I, well, me and then Jeff is the younger. And we were the younger 2. So if we were going on a road trip, Dave and Dan would sleep in one bed, Joe and Phil in the other bed, Mom and Dad, Jeff and I. So
Aww.
everybody had their pairing.
Yeah.
And so Jeff and I were the runs of the litter. And so that's actually how the book got started. Was I had a dream about him. We were just playing in our basement with a tennis ball, throwing it against the wall, making up our own little games, which we had done our whole childhood. We were always stuck together. But I had that dream about him, and I woke up the next day and I said, oh my goodness, I have so many good memories of Jeff and I being the runs of the litter. So I just started writing, and I did not stop for like months. I just wrote
Wow.
about Jeff and I, and then all my brothers. So then I just started writing all of these memories from my childhood of all my brothers and my parents, and, you know, events that happened on one day, or just a topic that I just wanted to talk about. And I just wrote everything about that one topic in relation to my family. And it was like therapy. I did it all by hand. I literally wrote the entire thing by hand first.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, but it was very therapeutic.
So is this the first book that you've written?
Yes. I've had a blog since I started a blog in April of 2015 when we were moving from Dallas to Claremont. And I wrote once a month, once every other month, and it was just memoir pieces. There was a few historical fiction. I wrote a story about David and Bathsheba. I took the story from the Bible and just put my own spin on it, so it's historical fiction. And mostly memoir pieces. And not a lot of them about my childhood. So I kind of wrote just the stories that had been in me about life and about recent memories. When I wrote this book, I was like, all right, good. I can promote it to the 50 people who read my blog.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you probably have to have a pretty tough skin and be able to throw down, you know, and hold your own against different situations.
There's a lot that goes into that. There's one story in the book that I love, and it's how tough they were on me with sports and how I lost at everything. I mean, what am I going to win? I'm like the little... They were awful. They had zero compassion when it came to sports. So, and we were a very athletic family, and there's a lot about that in the book. My stinking brothers taught me how to be an athlete, and they were the ones who taught me to set myself apart from all of those girls, and they gave me the competitive drive to never give up, to get beat up, to get on the ground, bloodied, I mean, sweating like a crazy person, and never give up. And I have my brothers to thank for that.
So what did your brothers think about you writing this book kind of about them?
Well, they did all read it very quickly. I think I sent the email out on like a Tuesday, and I was like, hey guys, manuscript is attached. Yep, it's happening. So if you have any qualms, now's the time to speak, because it's about you guys, and I want it to be honest and real, and I'm telling my story, but go ahead and give it a read. And I think I had one brother who read it that night. I had another brother who responded the next day, and then maybe that other night. I mean, literally, it was within 48 hours I had heard from 3 of them and one parent. By that weekend, I had heard from almost all of them. So I didn't get everybody. I didn't get feedback from everybody, but again, it was like one sentence. Oh yeah, Kim, it was pretty good. Why is my chapter on me so short, or something like that?
Did you have to get signatures from them since you're publishing it?
No, I did do that email as I told them when I was publishing it, it's going out in the next few months. Okay. I sent it to them in June, and I didn't end up publishing until October. Okay. So I told them that this is it, and everybody was included on the email. So nobody had anything that was blaringly, disputing anything in the book. There's really not. I mean, I'm pretty nice to them.
Do you know if when you're writing memoirs, if you have to get signatures, or at least do what you did and let people know that they're being included and let them read their part? Is that something you have to do, or like contract or anything?
I have read up on this, and there's a lot of memoirs out there that are damaging to families, mm-hmm. and because they're sharing family secrets. So the only contracts are not required, but they may be required by your publisher. If you're getting traditionally published, they may require you to do that because they want, proof in paper that they're not going to come after you legally. Mm-hmm. So it's more of the legal issue that you need to worry about. But because I wasn't slandering anybody, and I didn't have, aunts and uncles and grandparents that were really included in this, and I was definitely not saying anything negative to the point of harming anybody's reputation. Right. That's something that people are always aware of when you're writing memoir. And there's a lot more stories out there from people who have lived through really difficult childhood experiences that would need to go down that path. But thankfully, I didn't have to. You do it out of respect. There's people I wrote about in the book that I did not tell about the book. So surprise! I would have to have sent a lot of emails to touch every person in the book. Yeah. So it's just a respect issue.
Now, you went the way of self-publishing, and a lot of people that might be kind of their interest is, they don't really understand what that means or where you go to self-publish. Can you explain a little bit about that world and why you went that way and how you can start if you don't even know what that is?
Absolutely. Amazon lays the cleanest, easiest track to follow. I mean, really, it's unbelievable. It's almost like cheating. I felt like when I was through the process, I was like, oh, so I really get like a book, like in my hands, like with my name? So I was so excited. Yes, absolutely. Why wouldn't I do that? I mean, I've had a blog for, a couple years by then, and I am an achiever. I am like, if it can be done, I will do it. And Amazon was my friend. So if you're desperate to just do something with your writing instead of just settling, I would say go ahead and make the 100 mistakes that we make as self-publishers. Go ahead, do it. You'll learn. And that's what I did. So Amazon has a great track, but then also there's so many blogs that you can research. I mean, every single thing I came across that I didn't know how to do, I, like any other American in 2019, Googled it, and then I read whatever 15 blogs told me what to do. So I could get anything done that I wanted to get done with the help of the internet. So that is absolutely the best thing about it. I would say just go to Amazon. It's Kindle Direct Publishing, KDL, and they have everything there. So I just followed it step by step. I honestly don't even know off the top of my head what I did. I just followed the steps.
Is it a class? Do you have to pay for it, or it's just...
No, I did not pay for anything with Amazon directly. I did pay for my cover design. So the biggest thing you can do to fail as a self-publisher is get a crappy cover design. Copyright, you basically have to do everything yourself. That's the thing. There's a little copyright in the front that I just Googled how to do it. They said keep it really simple, just your name and a little detail about memoir and how it's just some details about that. The formatting was an epic nightmare. So I ended up hiring someone off of Fiverr, Fiverr, and they did a great job. A lot of little bitty rules that you have to follow, and there's a lot of just details that they're so picky about, and it's just the way of publishing. You can't really get around it. So I would say the editing I would also outsource. So I just rewrote a lot, and there was a lot that was on the cutting room floor at the end of that. Just a lot of, okay, Kim, how can you do this better? It's not your first draft that goes anywhere. And I would say this to all writers. Believe in your editing more than your gut writing. Your gut writing is what gets it on the page. And absolutely sit and do the gut writing and get it all out there and just bleed all over those white pages. But you have to give space to the words and time and look at it again and edit and then give more space and more time and look at it again. And maybe on your third draft, you're getting somewhere. But that first draft, I think Stephen King calls them, his darlings, and editing is killing your darlings. You need other eyes on your work, I guess is the point of that.
So now that you have your finished manuscript and you published it in October last year, what did you do, like when you were leading up to your release date, what did you do for marketing? And how did you get the word out that you'd written a book?
Yeah, I think people were shocked when it came out. They were like, wait, what? And so I only had my website followers to lean on. And as far as marketing, I only had my people who were reading my stuff. And I'm telling you, it was not very many, but everybody, when I kind of just launched it, I didn't even have I didn't have a launch party. I didn't have a book launch team. It was very unofficial. So I did have several people, buy it right away from the people that I knew online, my friends and family. And that's always what happens first with authors. So now I have an official website. I have a Facebook author page. I have an Instagram that is prepping people. I do events. I've been to Barnes & Noble. I've published in other things. I've been in, Style Magazine. I've been in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And so I'm broadening, you just broaden your, not team, but you broaden your readers'
hold on.
audience.
I have to interrupt. Did you say you're in Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Yeah.
Stop. You're like a celebrity in my eyes now. I love those books. I was obsessed with those. Like Chicken Soup for the teen soul and all that stuff. I was like, these are amazing.
Yep, I'm in the mom book. I'm in
hilarious. That's awesome.
Yep. So this just released in March, and it's the story of me and my mom picking out my wedding dress.
How cool is that? Sorry to step back. There was a question that I wanted to ask and I forgot. What would be, so you self-publish through Amazon. Is there any pros and cons between doing that or going a more traditional route? Because, again, I don't know anything about getting a publisher or anything like that. What are the pros and cons?
Yes, absolutely. I'll hit them real fast. So pros, no upfront cost. Large, popular retailer, Amazon. Great for first-time writers. Great if you don't care about making a lot of money, you just want to get your work out there, something to be proud of, all of the resources and help, and you can get a beautiful book in your hands that has your name in it, that, you know, as long as you do the work and have a good cover design and really work on it to make it beautiful, it's totally the most rewarding feeling to just hold that in your hands. The cons, you have to do a lot of research and independent decisions and organizing and figuring out things as you go. You don't have an agent or a publisher or anyone at your side kind of leading and guiding the way. It's not as official as traditional publishing. It's definitely less stigma than it used to be. You don't have an official editor or specific help. You do pretty much all the heavy lifting on your own. Formatting, again, if it's not your specialty, and I don't know that it's anybody's specialty really, unless it's their full-time job, who would love doing that. It is a very tedious process to, I wrote it in Microsoft Word, I uploaded it to Kindle Create, and then you have to upload it to Amazon. And it does take some time. It is a little frustrating, but if you put the time in, you can really, it can just be a very rewarding thing. So without patience and determination, it can be really sloppy. So I would say for first-time writers who just feel like getting things done, I'm in the field now where I am researching traditional publishing, and I almost feel like unless you have quite a big platform, it's very difficult and a lot, it's very time consuming to go the traditional publishing route if you don't have a big platform.
That's awesome. But it sounds like a good way for somebody to get their feet wet, especially if they're trying to decide, is this something that I want to do? I have a passion. I feel like if you went through the route of self-publishing, that could either make or break your decision a little bit to say, you know what, this is just not the world I want to live in, or it could really make you like salivate and be like, I want more.
Oh yeah, I like that word.
Word of the day.
So, yes. So now for our readers, where can they, or for our readers, I'm thinking about reading. For our listeners, where can they find your book?
Yes, on Amazon, people. Yeah, Amazon. A Cub Among Bears: How Love and Toughness Raised Me by Kim Patton. So kimpatton.com is my website. Mm-hmm. I have a sign-up list for email if you are at all interested in memoir or receiving future perks for my next book. I'm putting together a book launch team for my next book, launching October of 2020. So I'm already working on that. Join my email list. I'd love to have you. But on my website, kimpatton.com, you can find links to Chicken Soup for the Soul, which is available on Amazon, and A Cub Among Bears, which is available on Amazon. And then my Facebook author page is Kim Patton, author Kim Patton. And I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at KimPatton730.
That's Yay! Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that you didn't get in? Anything about your book or your future book or your future plans?
I am very privileged to be able to do this. I know that not everybody can. I follow Emily P. Freeman. She's an author and a podcaster and a blogger and everything, all the things. And she said, writing does not fit into anybody's life. If you are passionate about it, you have to make it happen. And I'm very lucky that my husband and I have created kind of a schedule and a plan where I'm at my healthiest, and I also have a lot of time to devote to writing. I still have to fit it in though, and that's still a struggle to be able to block out 3 hours to go to the library and sit and write and not do anything else. So I'm very, very lucky, and I do feel like God has put words and stories inside of me to tell, not for the purpose of those stories themselves, but for the purpose of me feeling my most alive and my healthiest, as well as others feeling less alone and me feeling less alone. When I tell my stories, I feel like, oh, okay, I got that off my chest. Maybe somebody else can relate, but the truth is, it's just my passion. And it's just a huge, huge privilege, even just being among people who are reading, like the Literary Society and you guys. And I'm starting my own literary society, and I wake up and I'm like, is this my life? Do I really get to read, 100 books this year is my goal, like you? And I'm so excited that this is my life, that I can read and that I can write, and I'm very lucky.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you. It was lovely.
It was really fun.
Thank you, Kim. It was so great to chat with you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for being one of our guests.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you have a wonderful night. And for our listeners, Liz and I will be with you next week with another brand new topic. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us.
Don't forget to check us out on social media and subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any of the fun.
See you next week.